What is good, peeps? Welcome to an Indefatigable Artist. Episode 35, Robe Readings. Making reading and writing cool in 2023. And yes, we can. Yes, you can read something, anything. What is it you want to do in this life? Certainly. There must be something you want from this life. Go out and find someone who has done it and read about them. Maybe not done exactly what you want to do, but in the field. Not only will you learn something applicable to your life, but the simple act of reading itself can reduce stress, calm your mind, ease the tension in your muscles, get your heart rate down. Just as you can read anything you want, you can write anything you want. I can energize just one person to write down just one word, even if it's just one word. I will deem this podcast a success. Now, I've already done this. I've already inspired people to write one word. But today is a new day. This is a new episode of the Indefatigable Artist Podcast. So we have another person we need to energize to write something down. Stop getting in your own way. That reflexive voice in your head that just came up with an excuse to deflect from this task, giving you a lousy excuse as to why you can't read or write something. I have to do this. I have to do that. I don't have time. No one has time. Time passes us all by. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Decide what to do with that time. Write out your schedule and stick to it. Hold yourself accountable to that schedule. In the short term, there may be a little pain, a little stress to hold yourself accountable. But in the long run, it allows you to hit these free flow moments where you can really let your mind dive deep into whatever it is you're doing. You can be fully present. You can give all of your mental focus to the task at hand or the person you're talking to. You won't be thinking in the back of your head, I have to do this or I have to do that. You've written it down. You know that it's going to get done, or you've handled it already. You've faced hard truths and you've got it done out of the way. Rip the Band-Aid off. I know I'm a big procrastinator myself on things I don't want to do. Not saying that we don't all have that. We don't all have that task that we've put along, but put that in there. And why haven't you done that? You won't be thinking I have to do this or that, because this or that is in your schedule and you've made time for that. Right now, in this moment, is not the time for this or that. Right now is the time for you. And it's okay to take time for you. It's in your schedule. This is me time. And everything else in the universe, in this planet, can fuck off. This is me time. I am taking this time because it betters my mental health. And therefore, I can put out better energy later on. The next time I have a stressful situation, I can deal with it more progressively, more positively. I won't snap. I won't let my emotions get the better of me and allow me to act out and make the situation worse. Getting a flat tire, then breaking my hand punching the car, what good does that do? Does that solve the problem? No. It makes it worse because now I have to go to the hospital. You choose to get upset and to stay mad. An incident is perspective. The incident just is. It's just a flat tire. How you perceive it will determine your conscious emotional reaction. What is your default to a stressful situation? How do you choose to deal with a stressful situation? I've had to ask myself this and continue to ask myself this every time I encounter a stressful situation. My default was to just get pissed off. Get pissed off at the incident, get pissed off at anyone around me. And what good did that do? Did that help the situation? Did it make it better? I felt like it relieves stress, but it just adds stress. In these moments, I have to pause. I have to close my eyes if I can, take a deep breath, realize that I'm in control of my thoughts. I am in control of my emotions. I can't let them get the better of me. I can't look at them like some mountain that I can't climb. No. My thoughts and my emotions are mountains I can climb. I can conquer them. And it's through writing and reading why I've come to this point. And continue to practice, continue to practice, continue to practice. It's incessant. It's incessant. It's incessant. It's never ending. As much as you wake up, that's why I believe we're doing something special with these Robe reading streams. I feel it in my very being. I believe we are going to make reading cool for human beings who have forgotten entirely about reading in this digital age, as there is so much noise. The second that we wake up, we welcome in the noise with eyes barely open, mind barely awake from its overnight subconscious adventures, and now is being thrown into the algorithmic abyss. Down the algorithmic abyss, the mind goes, feverishly swiping down the infinite timeline, image after image, video after video, text after text. What's next? More. You aren't doing enough. The other person has more than you, is doing more than you. Look at them. They're always active. Are you even active right now? What are you doing if you aren't spending time posting how much you are doing? If you're actively doing something, you should be posting about it. What the fuck are you even doing if you're not posting about it? And I am saying this as a content creator. So these things I think about often. What effect is the content that I'm creating having? Is it adding to this problem? What effect am I having on those who encounter Bleace? Any effect at all? And that is where I come back to the belief that we are doing something special with these Robe reading streams. I feel it. I truly feel it more than I've felt it in all of these 3 years, almost 3 years streaming. Feel good. And I believe that if it's making me feel good, that it can make others feel just as good. Getting it out there. Asking others to express themselves. They don't even have to share it with anybody. I'm not asking you to share. It's for you. It's for you. No one has to read that. No one has to read it if you don't want. You get to that level of sharing. But to start out, don't think about that. That's blocking you of getting out your thoughts of, oh, what if someone reads this or whatever. Delete it right after. If you're that afraid of someone reading it, delete it right after. No one has to see it. But the act of writing it out, the act of writing your thoughts out will alleviate some anxiety from you. Will get you over that past situation that you're still choosing to hold on to. You'll see it from a new perspective. It lessens the current obstacles that you're dealing with. What if this happens? So what? Each and every day I wake up, I choose to wake up with a purpose. I want to leave something behind, even if I have other obligations. We all have to keep the lights on, but schedule out that time that you time. Be completely selfish with that you time. For content creation, I feel I have to cater to the algorithm so it'll push my stuff out to viewers who will appreciate it. It's kind of a game you have to play in learning how your creations can fit into these various platforms. It's a science all on its own. So you're trying to learn these platforms, which are varied. Then within them, they are updating them all the time. And at the time I feel like I, finally get it figured out, the platform makes an update. Now, what was working before isn't working now. I have to update what I'm doing just slightly, but enough to notice the difference. And coincide that with also learning who you are as an artist and how best to spend your time. I just like to create. I just like to be constantly just creating and self-expression in a multitude of ways, but that doesn't necessarily translate to these platforms because you're not catering to what works for that platform. And so it's like this balance. It's like you can still have your creation that you're doing, but if you want to translate that on social media platform, you have to adjust it accordingly. So it's been like learning different languages. You're learning the language of creativity, of art, and how you can transform your energy into these creations. And then it's taking that and putting that on a platform to hopefully spread that energy out, to hopefully get that in front of others. It's a lot of learning. Some people, it's like, feels like sometimes it's like a slot machine of you're just pulling that lever every time you post and hopefully you hit the jackpot and a lot of people see it. And some people have it figured out. They have great content. It gets spread out there. I'm trying to figure out how best what I want to do fits how these platforms are. And trying to be as transparent and vulnerable as I can be to hopefully help others who are doing the same. And as an artist, I become one, not with any gifted talents, as I don't feel I have any. I just have hard work. Indefatigable artist, persisting tirelessly. That is what carried me to this point. That is what has gotten me where I am right here, right now. Now, having these different art forms that I like to do, these different mediums, writing, painting, drawing, 3D animation, virtual reality building, graphic design, video editing, I've spread myself out to these different things, spread myself out onto different social media platforms at the same time. It's very spread. And it's like, it felt like a rubber band being stretched. How far can that rubber band go? How elastic is your mind before it snaps? And I had a moment where it just snapped for me. And I was like, I can't be this spread out. I have to bring it in. I have to take this stretched out rubber band that's so tight. And when I say so tight, the stress is so tight of trying to do this. You're trying to run up these different staircases. Yeah, one step at a time, going up that staircase, that staircase, that staircase, that staircase. You get fatigued. You're pulled so tight at the same time running. So it's like you're running with these rubber bands on your legs. I'm now simplifying, and it's alleviated this weight on my shoulders, this choking of creativity, this choking of stress that I've put on myself, this self-imposed stress of, at the same time, dealing with this, of having such expectations of myself and feeling that I have failed those expectations, of not living up to my own expectations, of not being where I want to be as an artist, as a creator. having some self-reflection of why haven't I got to that level? Why haven't I lived up to my own expectation? Why do I feel like I failed? Very hard on myself. Then causes even more stress, more panic attacks, which is not good for creativity. Stress is the silent killer. It's also the killer of ideas and creation. David Lynch says as much in his masterclass that artists should take time out of their day to daydream. Again, scheduling time for yourself. Schedule it out. Take that Sunday. Take a Sunday. Take a day off, whatever day that may be. It's during the week, but take that day off. Sit there with a digital calendar and a list and write down all the things you have to do. They may not be things you want to do, but things you have to do. Schedule it all out. Get it all out there. Start realizing that, I would have time if I did that. It's 24. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. Schedule it out. So, as I am this stretched rubber band and I've snapped, now I'm back into this little rubber band that's, flexible. I took a deep breath, began pondering how to solve this problem, overcoming these obstacles to climb that mountain. Climb that mountain that I see. I've seen this mountain for years now. I thought I have been climbing it, which I have. There's different plateaus. There's different hills you have to climb. There's unforeseen rocks in the road, sticks in the road, potholes, what have you. I shouldn't probably be admitting all this as a content creator. I should be coming to this as I have it all figured out. I know exactly what I'm doing. Why else would you be watching if you didn't have it figured out? I should be giving advice. I should be teaching. But I'm teaching through my own learning process. I'm kind of talking it out here. Which brings me back to the top. Back here to Robe readings. So it was in this moment of feeling too thinned out, realizing I have 24 hours. What am I going to leave behind in this 24 hours if this is the last 24 hours that I have? And really, we only have 2 minutes to live. If I don't take another breath for 2 minutes, that's it. Or however many minutes. We live breath to breath. Robe readings. This is my passion. When I stripped it all down, if everything I created was deleted, all the digital work, everything I put out deleted, all my books burned, the energy that I chose to give in the right now, using tools that I have before me, am I using them in the most intelligent way possible? Will me 20 years from now look back and say, you idiot, why weren't you doing this? I like how Tony Robbins talks about the fly hitting the window, trying to get out. When I read that, it was like, yes, that's fucking how I have felt. I am working so hard, but I'm flying against that window and I'll never get through that window just doing that. You have to stop. And when the fly stops to analyze the situation, realizes that window's closed, he can fly away and go find the open window. Another approach. I do have ambitions to keep creating in various outlets, but I want to focus one step, one goal, one staircase, one mountain at a time. I've been trying to climb multiple mountains all at once. And I didn't see that. It took me a long time to see that. Okay, I have that destination. I see it, but I've like climbed over here, I've climbed over here, I've climbed over here. It's like I haven't been going exactly towards that. I've been kind of venturing off all on these side paths. Now it's time to go straight there. The closest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I want to focus and be singly focused on this one goal. I want to envision it so powerfully where I can see it every time I close my eyes. I can see that. And it's energy I see. It's me spreading my live poetry. I'm a poet at the beginning. That's what sent me off on this. It's finding my voice. This has been a learning process too, of getting in front of the camera like this. You think this comes naturally to me? It doesn't. Takes a lot to come on here. Haven't had a haircut in a while. Not shaven. But we're just doing it. Just doing it. I'm getting out of my own way of saying that could be used as an excuse as to not stream today. I don't look the way I want to look. I am not looking the best. Who gives a fuck? Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind. Why am I not at that location I see when I close my eyes? Why am I not there when I've worked so hard and tried so many things to get there? And answering that question, I found myself, found what it is I want, and I'm now setting in motion a plan that I will execute each and every single day to whatever extent that I can. And I like being transparent with anyone taking the time to listen. I feel that being vulnerable as I am right now will help others along their creative journey. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay not to have it all figured out. Because guess what? No one has it figured out. We're just one planet around one star, which is one of a billion trillion stars, and something we call the universe, which has black holes that we have merely just discovered, let alone traveled through. So what are we doing? No one has it figured out, and it hurts too much to think about. So it's better to just watch Big Brother and think about who is dating whom. Everything we think about is a choice. The question then, is it a choice made consciously by you or someone else? Why are you choosing to think about that? Did you see it on the timeline? Did you see it on the news? Who initially said those words that you're saying in your head? Where did that phrase come from that you say without thinking? Why are you getting upset at something you saw on the timeline or on the television screen? Why are you choosing to let it arouse anger? If too many people realize that they can control their thoughts, this may not be good for those who are trying to manipulate human behavior to compulsively buy inanimate objects until they go bankrupt. The poor kid had high ACT and SAT scores, but a low emotional intelligence score, and ended up unaliving himself and being turned down by after being turned down by a girl he had a crush on for years. Or he was bullied to the point that he snapped and shot kids at school. Putting all of these highly distracted, emotionally deprived kids all in one building, making them sit in desks, all of that energy, all of the hormones raging, supervised by overworked and underappreciated teachers, test after test, test score after test score, on to the next, test. When meditation class, when an hour pause to teach kids they can control their thoughts, that they can choose what they focus their mental energy on, that failure is not ultimate, that it's yet another step along the way, that another person's words are projections and deflections from their own ego. Behind every bully is a fragile ego afraid to be exposed, deathly afraid of being made to feel vulnerable. Vulnerability is death to the ego, when it's actually a strength for the individual. This is what drives me in this podcast. This is what drives me to want to create a more emotionally intelligent world. I'm not a psychologist by any means, but I am a creative, and I know the effects that creating has on the mind. I understand that we need to be having this conversation at the dinner table more than we are right now in 2023. We are the product of millions of years of evolution. We need to start fucking acting like it. How is it that I can read a quote from Einstein in 1945 and have it perfectly apply to our current political situation here in the US? We have made technological advancements, yes, but how many emotional advancements have we made? Surely more emotionally advanced than we were 100 years ago, certainly is the case, but we are far from where we could be. We learn all of this external information in school, U.S. history, chemistry, world history. What about human psychology? I know there are schools that teach it. There's always exceptions. I'm talking more on a broad scale and having this become more normalized in schools. Teach the youth early how to deal with their emotions, how to deal with stressful situations so they can better handle them in the short term, but also as adults. All of what I do and have done is provide a perspective that I wish I had when I was young. I'm talking to my younger self in this. Is what I'm saying that there will be some utopia or that there will one day be a state of pure perfection? Absolutely fucking not. That does not exist. The universe doesn't work like that. It takes protons, neutrons, and electrons to create an atom, positive, negative, and neutral energies to combine together. A heartbeat goes up and down. That is life. We have to accept that it just is. What the universe just is. And not accept self-imposed ways of life. Stress that we are giving ourselves, that we're putting on others systemically, the artificial structures that separate humans through imaginary monetary means, imaginary in the sense that paper dollars hold no meaning outside that which humans give it. What is a dollar worth in the next galaxy over? What is a credit card on Neptune? What is a credit score to the alien found in Mexico? And yes, there is other life in the universe. That this is only shocking to small minds. Have we found them on Earth? Is there evidence of that life? That remains to be seen. Not saying that was a real alien, but I do appreciate the fact that they made their findings public about the DNA. If that is real, time will tell. But the limited knowledge that we do have of the universe would suggest that there is most certainly life out there, as the universe is far too vast and too diverse for there not to be. To get to these next steps, to go further, we have to become more emotionally intelligent. And I encourage all who hear this to creatively express themselves more. Say what you have to say while you have the ability to say it. There will always be more ideas than time, just as there will always be more thoughts than spoken words. The only time is right now. Face that hard truth. Open yourself up to that vulnerability. Grow from it. You woke up today. With that simple act, you are already more resilient than the day before, if you choose to see it. The only time you have is right now. Choose to use it wisely. Go further. And if this is my last episode ever, and one of those times that will be true. So I want to say it now, because if not now, when? But I just want to say before I go, one last thing. And if it's the last thing I ever say, I want it to be this. Appreciate you listening. Be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and share. It's a free way to pay it forward. Can always go further at Bleace.com and sign up to our free newsletter. Let's go further together, one step at a time.